What's going on, YouTube? So I just got back from the gym and I said, let me go out in the backyard and chill for a bit, get some fresh air, because tomorrow's supposed to be a rainy day, which is great because I like the rain for the garden. But I figured I won't be able to sit out here tomorrow. So, and then I said, won't I do a June garden tour? So here we go. Everything's not perfect, but it is what it is. Okay, yeah, see, I need to do a little bit of blowing out here and cleaning up, but I've been busy with work and stuff like that, so it is what it is. My little garden helper, a little stray cat that just, pays a visit every now and again. Okay, so we have a bag of trash. We have Nasturtium, which is doing fantastic. We have under the Nasturtium some pansies, not peonies, pansies, which are hanging in there. The brownish color ones are kind of fading out, but I just couldn't bear to take them out, so I just left them. But everything's probably a little droopy because it's really been a warm day today. Hosta, which has filled out to the max. This is a Paris, which I planted this year, which you can see all the new growth on top. The lemon balm, which has just completely filled in this area here. We have all of the hostas here, which are at their max fullness. There's a thin border of monkey grass down here amongst the weeds, which one day I'll get down there and weed the edge, but the hostas seem to protect me from that. Purple sand cherry looks good. I mentioned in another video that it tends to get like a powdery mildew, but since I've been using this all seasons bonide, all seasons, hold on for 1 second. Since I've been using this stuff, it has kind of held off the powdery mildew. So I'll continue to spray this at least once a week or after it rains, just to reapply it. And it seems to be working for that and for aphids on my roses. Okay, so we have the daisies here. There was a little bit of a thin spot in here, like some drying. It was a few days where things needed to be watered. I should have cut these in half so that it could have been less vertical and then just bushed out a little bit more, but it's probably too late now. Although I think I don't know, I'm not going to stress the plant. I'm just going to let it do its thing. I just hate that it has this little bald spot in the middle. I just threw some biotone in there, and it's going to rain tomorrow, so hopefully that washes down in there and fertilizes the plant. Lemon cypress, you have this hosta and heuchera and coreopsis, which I forgot was here, but it's kind of popping up and it looks great amongst this weed. I didn't get the whole thing, but the coreopsis looks good. Here's another daisy. Again, it has the yellowing down there. It was just lack of sun, lack of water, but the plant still looks good, so I'm not going to worry about it. I threw some biotone in there as well. We have ground cover and creeping phlox. We have a variety of hostas, the lily, something, another lemon cypress, coreopsis. All of that was planted this year under this apple tree. PJM rhododendron, azalea, which they're both, spring bloomers, so they're done, but they're hanging in there and doing pretty good. another Hosta. Purple Rhododendron that I planted this year. It's putting on new growth. So that's doing pretty good. The drift of zinnias are all up. I mean, there's some areas in there that are empty, but that's going to be great once that grows up and fills in with color. Burning bush here, some monkey grass amongst the weeds. Weeds are your friend if they stay small and respectable. I don't fight them. It's green, it looks good, and when they get out of control, then we gotta do something. I don't know how this Nasturtium got under there, but it's fine by me. This is one of my favorite hostas. The leaves are ginormous. Favorite word. And it just looks cool. It just automatically makes you feel cooler. The color, that blue, that icy blue color. I just love it. This is my Japanese maple. It just has a very cannabis shaped leaf, which is kind of cool. But this is my Japanese maple that I planted this year. It's doing pretty good. Heucheras, which I only probably needed the one. This one is getting buried. I probably can pull it up in the fall and move it. I don't want to waste a beautiful plant like that. I can probably put it somewhere. Some monkey grass, which are doing great. Some lamb's quarter, which is edible, but I'm not going to eat it. It's a weed in this garden. But some creeping jenny, some sedum, some weeds, some clover. I'll get under here in one day and just kind of like pick out the bad that I don't want and keep the good, but it's all right. This rose, which if you go back, and I'll tell the story real quick. There was the alleyway, which was completely overgrown. I mean, severely overgrown. And when I bought the house, I threw a bunch of pulled plants out into the alley. Probably shouldn't have done that, but I did. And I discovered that there was originally a sterling silver rose planted in this original garden. And I wondered about it. I found a tag, a plant tag for a sterling silver rose. And then I remembered about the alleyway rose that was growing. And I said, well, what if that's the sterling silver rose? So I decided to uproot it and bring it into the garden. And I did that. And this is the second year. And if you look up sterling silver roses, they're like a pale purple that almost looks silver. And this rose has yet to put on any buds, but it's alive. Last year I thought it was gone, but this year it's putting on a lot of growth. It may be a late season rose or something like that, which would be fine. I'm excited to see if it produces anything. And here it is. The alleyway that was a lot of work, but I'm so proud of the space. I had no idea it was going to get to this level of done this season, but I'm excited. The Wisteria is doing good. There's a couple branches that may have gotten harmed and they're dying, but it's stable. It's not growing, so it's alive. Hopefully it'll put out some shoots and start to take off this season, and then maybe I'll train it to vine up the wall, and we'll have some Wisteria back here. There's some creeping evergreen. We have the rhododendron. We have a pachysandra. This creeping jenny. This is the only one that seems to be struggling a bit, which is all right. Everything else is holding. Nothing else is struggling. These creeping jenny actually look like they have put on a little bit of growth, which is pretty good. Other than that, there's the whole space. and it looks good. Back into the alley. I mean, back into the yard. This is the dead space. There's nothing back here. I wanted to clear this space out here and grow some sugar baby watermelon, but I don't think it'll get enough sunlight back here. But I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do with this space, because this will be the second season I've just allowed it to be nothing, and I like to utilize every space. If you can believe it or not, I do have a space that has nothing. You know, everybody comments on how I utilize the garden so efficiently, but every garden has an area that needs to be worked on, and this is mine. I will think of something eventually. This is a rose of Sharon that I rescued and decided to bonsai. It was originally in this corner, and it used to get aphids all the time. This is before I knew about spraying anything, and every year it would just get aphids, and I would just say, okay, maybe it's saving everything else from having aphids on it. But I never got to enjoy any blossoms because I think they just sucked the life out the plant. It stayed alive, but it never really produced very many blossoms. So I hacked it off, and then this spring it had one little leaf, and I said, oh no, it's alive, and I felt bad. So I decided to try to bonsai it, and it's been putting on this compact amount of growth at this junction here, and I'm excited to see that it's alive, and I'm just going to let it stand here for a few seasons. Hopefully I can keep it watered well and it doesn't suffer, and I'll fertilize it, and I'll do a little research to see what I should do for a potted, you know, bonsai type plant, and just baby it and give it the respect that it was due, because it was here before I got here, and because it was struggling, I felt like I needed to rip it out. But I wanna give it a chance. This under this table here has really just gotten out of control, but it's okay. There's a Easter, I think that's what it's called back there. There's this quince. There's a coreopsis. There's some creeping jenny and weeds. There's this rhododendron here, which was a tiny little plant when I originally planted it. It is very happy in this space. I wish that it stood upright more, but it's beautiful in the springtime. There's actually two. There's a smaller one here. These are my dollar plants that I got off the Lowe's rack, I think last year. There's Easter azalea, Easter azalea, Easter. There's a Delaware Valley white azalea. There's a pink one. This is a rhododendron with white flowers. They're small. All of these will get big except for the Easter, which kind of like grows out into like a little 3'4" bush or something like that, I think. Matter of fact, I could be a little bit more exact. I keep the tags in here. Cotton Easter. You probably all think I'm crazy. Coral Beauty Cotton Easter. It grows, as you can see here, like a little bit of a bush with these great white flowers. There's 1, 2, 3, and then there's one over there, and they flower in the spring. They're great, as you can see. Nice glossy green leaves, very small leaves. These little flowers, I don't know if these are the flowers or these berries or what. I've never experienced this plant before, but I really like it. Yeah, and just adds a really dark green, you know, texture to the garden. There's some weeds in here again, but you know my relationship with weeds. I don't fight them. I remove them when I have a chance, but other than that, you know, they're welcome. This is the Delaware Valley. Yeah, I think that's what it's called, Delaware Valley azalea. What else we have? This is the white rhododendron, which is right over there, which it looks exactly like that picture. It's absolutely stunning. The flowers were great. I can't wait for that to become just a specimen right here, and I can enjoy those blooms year after year. So I'll put my tags back in here. They're plastic, so they should last for a while until I remember everything, and then I can get rid of them. But for now, keep my little tag library. I have planted right here. It's called a Upo, U-P-O. It's a gourd. I brought the seeds back from Southeast Asia from one of my vacations. I grew it last year, and there was a tremendous amount of vining, but there was very little fruit. The fruit, again, is a gourd, which if you leave it on the vine throughout the winter season, you could carve them out into bowls, which is what I wanted to do. So it's growing now. Hopefully this Upo takes over and climbs up this vine, climbs up this chain, my little homemade trellis, and just grows in this area. It could grow all along this fence here and just really be quite amazing. So say a little plant prayer for my Upo. Hopefully that grows. That'll be something cool to show you all. Another nasturtium, which seems to be getting a little tattered and beaten up, but it's okay. There's a Wisteria in here, which is doing nicely. I may just donate this Wisteria to the alleyway next season because I want to get rid of this pot here. And yeah, so I may just donate that to the alleyway and just have the Wisteria grow over there, and I think it'll be very nice. Hopefully get some sun in it. That'll do well. I have Firecracker Marigolds in here. I got the seeds from Little Shop of Horticulture. If I was very, very good, I will put the link in the description box below. It's a very nice lady who runs the place. She sent me a bunch of seeds, and these are some that I planted. I love the leaves of this marigold. It's very, very lovely without even having to blossom. I just love the texture of that. The weeds, again, I don't mind them. I just want to pull all it out, but not right now. It's okay. It's not hurting nobody. We have peas and my carrots, which are doing good. I have my melons, which are doing good. That's my bed frame trellis, which is as tacky as it gets, but hey, it's gonna work. I know it. I have my tomatoes, 2 pots of peppers. I did very little produce this year because I don't have time to tend a lot of stuff, so I'm just minimizing and keeping it really simple. There's another tomato over there. There's my little tiny patch of corn. This whole bed was planted with corn and only a few came up. Don't know why. It could be mealy bugs, it could have been a lot of things, but that is the only bit of corn that came up, and that's okay. I'll grow these till seed, keep the seeds, and then try it again next year. These are my Mammoth Sunflowers, which were beginning to have aphids farmed on them, so I sprayed those down with the horticultural oil, and hopefully that keeps the aphids away for now. There's cucumbers planted here that'll trellis up on this fence. They're taking their time, but they look good, so no complaints. I have this creeping thyme here that I planted in this stone, and it's wonderful. This is a different variety than the one I have over there. Obviously this one has a wonderful little pink purple flower on it. There it is, and it just smells so medicinal. I love the smell of thyme. This rose here struggled a bit. This was planted this season. It gave me 4 beautiful blooms. There's another one here. There's some new growth here after removing the old blooms. There's some new growth here too, which is great. I mean, that's what you want to see. You want to see it producing more growth, which means that it's growing. This was planted this year, actually. This is a tree variety of rose. You know, when you cut a bloom off, you cut it down to the first set of 5 leaves. You don't just cut the head off. You cut the stem all the way down to the first set of 5 leaves, and then the plant will push out new growth, and then you'll get a second round of blossoms. This one was struggling really bad. Somebody recommended to put in coffee, and I didn't do that, but I did kind of aerate the soil around the top. I fertilized it really well. I cut off everything that looked dead or diseased, and it's looking much better. It has a tremendous amount of blossoms on it, as you can see here. Somebody is probably saying, I got a bush with 1,000 blossoms on it. That's wonderful. I don't put Miracle-Gro on anything out here. It's all organic. Everything's going to be smaller. Everything's going to be, you know, probably more of a realistic result, because I'm not forcing it to overproduce. I want everything to kind of stay reasonable and small, and just relax. See those aphids on there? Can you see it? There it is. It's disgusting. They're all on there. I'm going to spray that down a little bit further. But the leaves are looking good. They're not looking like Swiss cheese, which around this time a lot of people are dealing with their leaves being just destroyed. And for the most part, the oil, horticultural oil, has prevented that. But the ants and the aphids are just getting on my last nerve. The thyme is looking good. I wish that it was all over this whole place, and it probably will eventually. But it smells amazing and it looks good. This rose is just absolutely beautiful. Like, the color is just unreal, but it struggled. I need to cut some of these old blooms off. But it's doing pretty good. It does have a little bit of holes in the leaves, but for the most part, the plant itself is really healthy. There's some Dinosaur Kale, which struggling a bit, but it's alright. A bunch of weeds here I gotta remove. There's a Forsythia bush, which I don't like. Forsythia, I really just want to rip that out because I don't like it. It just wants to get big and unruly, and then it only has color in the springtime. I could better utilize that space for something that brings me joy. Forsythia, I can't even say the name, and it doesn't really bring me joy, although I do like the yellow in the springtime. It's the first thing that really blooms in the springtime. But you know, I'll keep it for now. This is my lemon tree that I've grown from seed. It is doing well. Over the winter it had a bad case of spider mites, but it is putting on new growth everywhere. It looks good and healthy. I'm excited. I put a little biotone in there, so hopefully the rain washes through and it just gives it a little bit of a boost. This is my calamansi. As you can see, it's doing quite nicely. I replanted it at the beginning of the season because it had spider mites, and it's doing good. This is a citrus from Southeast Asia. Calamansi is delicious, and if I ever produce a piece of fruit, I will be a happy man. These are my star gooseberry cuttings. These are also from Southeast Asia. These are a very endangered species of gooseberry. The fruits, everything, the leaves, everything is edible. It's used a lot in Indian cuisine. I have a mother plant that I've taken these cuttings from, and they're done pretty good. I'll probably just give these away eventually on the Facebook free plant exchange. I like to share locally. This is a pine tree that I bonsai'd, as you can see. It's doing pretty good. I don't want to show you my maple because it's struggling, but the new leaves aren't struggling. The old leaves are. I think the sun was a little harsh. I should have put it in a covered area just to let it rest after being repotted, but this is a doggy dog world out here, so I'm just gonna let it go. Like I said, the new leaves are doing okay, so it should be fine. It looks gonna look bad before it looks good. The Rose of Sharon one that I did is doing quite nicely. No leaf curl, no leaf drooping. It looks good. It is suffering from a little bit of aphid, so I'll spray that one down. And yeah, but that's the June garden tour. Everything is looking good. Excuse me. I'm feeling good for the most part. I've started a new workout routine. COVID kind of kicked my butt, and I put on many pounds. So I'm doing my best to kind of like I'm doing my best to get rid of those pounds. So yeah. So peace and blessings. Happy growing. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully you've made it this far. And I'm just so excited about all this new subscribers and the direction of this channel. I have some amazing ideas, and I look forward to sharing them all with you and going forward. Yeah, so peace and blessings, and happy growing. Bye.